Okay, so we do have... Oh, not this stage. We do have a treasure box to find here that I had not actually looked for at all. I haven't seen it anywhere, at least. Having been through the whole stage already, for some definition of whole, I don't feel inclined to just look around for the treasure box here. I feel like I should actually just float around. I don't know if there are really that many places it could be hiding, are there? I think there's a finite number of floating platforms. And each one... I really wish I could just disable the controls on the marble while I do this. Instead of the marble constantly flopping around by accident as I control other things simultaneously. Yeah, it doesn't even make much sense. Well, it makes sense, but looking on the underside of something isn't going to like find you a secret, it doesn't feel like, because... Oh, you can actually flip... Oh, that's nice. You can actually flip 360 degrees, I did not realize that. Yeah. Yeah, there you go, it's very nice. But in any case, I mean, you're not going to find a secret really by looking on the underside of a platform, because you're supposed to be able to go on both sides of every platform. This is one of the extremes here, right? So, in some way it would make sense to put something special here. But, like, I've been here. There's nothing here. It's actually very not obvious to me where you even could hide something. I don't see a lot of places where you can. Unless it's, like, just floating in all these spaces in between or something. And I could see it being in one of those places. I haven't seen it there. What in the world? Why would you do that? Okay. I'll go on this platform. Where is that? Compared to... Okay, so from here... I don't know if from here is where I want to... It could be. So much speed I can get going this way, basically. And like that. Not even close that way. That was not a particularly strong approach. It's hard to get a lot of speed going uphill. So weird approach here, but yeah, very small target, but yeah, kind of feasible in a way, but did not get there. That was not particularly impressive as an attempt. I'm not sure what the easiest approach there would be. Is there a, ooh. Is there a checkpoint on this platform? Do all the platforms have checkpoints? I do not know. Yeah, I always figured that was probably a more efficient way you could get over here. Okay. Flipping might also be a good way to try to get to where I need to be. I don't know. I just wanted to get that thing with the power up. So now it's... Was it that way I need to go? Yeah, I need to be over here. Okay, well I can, like... No, it's not a particularly impressive one, but it could be just enough, no? Huh. It's a very precise target from very far away. It's a lot of height I have to get if I want to do it this way. I could try coming at it from far above. I don't know if that would be easier or not, since I control my starting height when I do this. I mean, shoot, even just doing that, is that really not enough? I guess it isn't. Yeah, you need a good deal. I need more height and or more speed, both of which are fairly plausible to get. Just need to actually get them. Although, I don't have a lot to work with here, I don't feel like. Yeah, no, I didn't commit hard enough. I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna overshoot if I do this, but I was not correct in thinking that. So let's see if we can do that one more time. So it was like an actual... That was not as strong this time. Eh. Yeah, if I can get the approach I got last time, that might have... I was afraid I was going to overshoot, so if I'm afraid I was going to overshoot, I can definitely, you know, reach it. Unless my judgment's just that bad, which is also plausible. Ah, man. Again, that was not a particularly strong approach either, but if I'm just going to marginally better approach, I think I can get it from here. I probably will want to just go at full force instead of doing what I was doing before, where... Yeah, great, thank you. I can get back up there easy. Not like that, but like this maybe? Not exactly. Okay, hold on. This is the highest platform I can start on, in this orientation. The thing says I have to be in this orientation, of course. Let me get the checkpoint real quick. Yeah, I also don't know if I could do it from here. I might be able to get more speed in this orientation, that means I also need to get more height as I do it. That's not plausible doing something like that. Well, I don't know. I need a lot of height. Yeah, I'm starting at like the lowest point I can if I do this. That's not particularly good. Perhaps at that point I should just say, hey, let's start on basically any other platform. Not to risk throwing away what was actually an opportunity before, but like up there seems like a fairly reasonable place to try to do this at. You can try to do it from there. Is there a checkpoint on there? Every platform, yeah, there's a checkpoint there. That's easy to get turned around. Was that the... What's this platform over here, right? Okay. Flip this around. Yeah, this feels like something that I could get used out of. Seem to remind myself which way I'm going. Because I've got some nice hills to use here too. This probably has checkpoints on both sides. Very nice. Yeah, I would want more height than that. I could probably go across the diagonal, but that seems plausible. That seems more plausible than I was doing before, trying to get a running start uphill. which is kind of silly to attempt to do, I think. Yeah, this feels very plausible. Yeah, I need to stop thinking to myself, oh, what if I overshoot it? Because it's much more likely I will not overshoot a thing than overshoot a thing. So I should just run at it as hard as I can, and if I find that I've actually for once managed to overshoot something, I can then... Okay. Also, I actually did start pulling back towards the end that time as well, but... I was right to do so, evidently. Okay, I keep forgetting where in the world this thing even is. That way, jeez. So go clockwise a little bit from the gravity pad. That'll take it to where I need to start from. There we go. Jeez. Oh, yeah, great. Thank you. Okay, on to the next one. We'll see how far we get in Zenith. Big climb this one, apparently. That's not a good start. Come on. Can get better than that. Yeah. If I want to start rolling a little bit forwards, but not max speed. There you go. Okay. Enough micro optimization here. Actually, coming at this from the right, coming at this optimally might be a tad difficult. Start to hit the right stride. Okay. Interesting, there's one gem to pick up here. Maybe there's some skip they wanted to make impossible. Okay, so you need to not over jump that. I'll just do one run of this first without worrying about getting a good time, and then we can, you know, worry about getting a good time. Okay, is the idea... Okay, so you don't even... Actually, hold on. Let me figure out what the right way of approaching that is. Can I actually make that bounce just using the bounce pad to start with? Or do I have to use the super jump? No, okay. I do have to use the super jump. I don't need a whole lot of fight from it. Well, obviously, it seems more appealing to go for this thing here that's easy to overjump. Okay. Try not to overshoot that. Bounce off the rock here. Not that rock! Long way to fall. What's the timing on here? Okay. It feels like you want to try to... Yeah, even just... Okay. It feels like you don't even want to use the bounce pad to go for that, because otherwise you'll overshoot it. You just want to jump straight into it. Jump straight into it. Not like that. Go left. Sorry, right. Bleh. From here you can, if you maintain any control whatsoever, you can then go for the right hand time travel. Jeez. Less controller than I was expecting to have. Okay. You don't know what the height's gonna be these things give you to bounce each time necessarily. Which a little bit of a pain. Nice gap. Thank you. Appreciate it. You can do it that way too. It's hard to pick up this thing over here. But okay. Do you want to go left or right here? That feels fine by me, all things considered. And this is another longer one. Yeah. Yeah, I was clearly gonna fall either way there. And these longer stages, man. Ugh. Real costly each attempt. Okay, so go slower here. You don't necessarily want to go for max height there, you know, that's what the timing I just utilized gave me. Okay. Oh boy. So that's going to be our introduction to Zenith. Next time we'll try to actually get a good time here. Nothing here seems awful. Just a few things that took me a couple tries. But I think this shouldn't give us too much trouble. And then, hey, diamond in all the bonus 3 stages. That ought to be nice. Alright, see you then.